Hey guys, just near JHart Modelworks coming to you with a shop card shout out, as well as some stash ads, maybe a little talk about our trip to San Antonio. We do not have any updates on the Firebird or the Super Bee though, because I literally have just not been home long enough to do any building. So let's go ahead and get this flipped around and let's get started. Alright, first and foremost, let's start with the shop card shout out. I've had this lady shop card for a couple of weeks now. When it came in was right before I'd had my tooth pulled, and I just was not up to doing really anything video wise. I had already had the footage filmed from before, so. And then right after that, the very next weekend, the wife and I left for San Antonio, where we had a blast. So we are going to go ahead and talk about Miss Tiffany over at Dirt Road Cinderella. She's got a fantastic shop card, a lot of beautiful builds on the card. She's got some great builds on the channel as well. It looks like she does a lot of weathering stuff, and her weathering is absolutely fantastic. Her patina builds are gorgeous. Now she's an established builder, is my understanding. She's been building for a long time, but she's just starting her channel, and she's doing really good because she's at like 400 subscribers right now. But it would be awesome if you went over and checked her out, subscribed to her, tell her I sent you if you want to. Say hi and go check out some of her stuff. She also has a section called What Did You Buy Wednesday, where she's talking about this, kits, tools, supplies, stuff like that that she's added. She does some tool reviews. She's got like I believe it's a display panel lining pen that she's looked at, as well as maybe a couple of other things. She's got some tutorials. She has a wood grain tutorial as well that is really nice. It's another take on doing wood grain. There's always great to know other ways of doing things, and hers turned out really well. So there's a lot of stuff over there, definitely worth going and checking out. Again, the link will always be up in the corner and down in the description below. Now, the wife and I went to San Antonio. We left pretty much Wednesday night as soon as I got home from work. I literally came in, we grabbed a couple of extra things that weren't already loaded into her car, and we took right off like almost as soon as I got home. We did pull in around midnight and got checked into our hotel. We stayed at the Hotel Contessa, which is an absolutely fantastic hotel. It is right off the river. It's pretty much dead center around everything you want to be. Pretty much walking distance from the Alamo. We drove, and there's a lot of construction going on around the Alamo right now. So we couldn't park right over there, and we ended up driving around a little bit and ending up in a parking garage, only to find out that that parking garage was like a block, maybe a block and a half away from our hotel where we had valet parking. If you go to San Antonio, get a hotel that does valet parking as part of their package. You will not regret it, because there is no parking down there. Everything is paid parking, including your hotels. I mean, we went to the Alamo, we went to the Riverwalk repeatedly, multiple times. We did the boat tour. We went shopping in all sorts of different areas like Market Square. We just had an absolute blast. We met up with Mike from Mike's Miniature Motors. Of course, his link will be down below as well. And his wonderful wife. We met them up for lunch on Thursday. Our first day there, we met up with them for lunch. They had a lot of stuff going on over the weekend. Their schedule was kind of packed, so that Thursday morning was like the perfect time to meet up with them. Sat down, had lunch for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We talked. I mean, it was an absolute blast. They are fantastic people. We ended up meeting up with them again the next morning for breakfast at a taco spot. He sent me a whole list of restaurants to go check out and things to do. I mean, we just had an absolute wonderful time. I have seen his finished McLaren P1 that he's working on, the one that fell with clear coat on it into like the dirt and the hair and whatnot. For everything that kit has gone through, it is absolutely gorgeous. He has done a fantastic job on it. It is amazing. So we, like I said, we have breakfast, and we come out of breakfast, and we're, shaking hands and giving hugs and getting ready to go. And he's like, "Hey, I've got something for you," and that's going to take us to the first of our stash ads. So he's like, "I know you were watching my Throwback Thursdays," because Mike does a segment called Throwback Thursday where he goes through some of his older builds. And he's been going through a bunch of the Lamborghinis recently. He's like, "I know you mentioned that you needed to add a Gaahleri to your stash. So here you go." And this is the Fujimi Lamborghini Gaahleri kit. Absolutely gorgeous kit. I've looked through it. I haven't opened anything up, but I've looked through it, and it looks really cool. And it's definitely one that I wanted to add to the stash. If I remember correctly, this is the one where he also, he threw in the AccuStyan photo etch kit in here as well. I don't even know if you can find those anymore. Like, they're very hard to find. If you can find AccuStyan stuff, it's expensive, and he just threw it in the box. I was pretty much flabbergasted. And he said, "But I also know that you like convertibles. So I've also got this. This is the Lamborghini Murcielago Roadster." So you probably know, but if you don't, the Gallardo was that period. It was like right after the Countach and the Diablo. The Gallardo was the Baby Bull, so that would be their V10 car. Kind of like the Hurricane is now for the current, like the Hurricane Aventador lineup. And the Murcielago was the big boy, the big V12. And I thought, I was supposed to make a choice, so I'm sitting here trying to choose between them. And he's like, "Oh, no, those are both yours." I was absolutely just flabbergasted. Like, I was speechless. But thank you very much, Mike. Absolutely fantastic kits. It was fantastic getting to meet you. I had so much fun. We have got to do it again sometime. Please let us know when you and the wife come up next, because you did say that y'all come up to Arlington quite a bit. So, some really cool stash ads there. We do have a couple of other stash ads to talk about here real shortly. So I was browsing around on Buyee because, as you guys know, from time to time I browse Buyee to try and find some of the more rare, obscure kits that are really expensive in the US. One of my holy grail kits was the Gaahleri Ferrari 250 SWB, which over here is a $150 to $200 kit. I managed to find one in Japan off of Yahoo Auctions Japan through Buyee for like $40, $45, something like that. But when it came in, it was damaged. The whole back, the trunk is split straight up, almost up the center. So I was looking around to try and find another one, and I didn't. But what I did run across, another kit that is usually very expensive, usually around $100 or so on eBay here in the US, was Gaahler's Ferrari 250 SWB California Spider. I built the Testors version. It's the exact same kit from the exact same company. Testors just reboxed it, but it was $30. This is a kit that's usually a $100 kit over here. And I mean, that was a steal. So I'm going to go ahead and at some point in time, I'll probably build another one of these. But the shipping is usually a little steep. To make it worthwhile, it's always good to pick up one or two more kits when you're shopping, let them all come into Buyee's warehouse, and then just ship them all at the same time. Because the way Buyee works is you're actually going through their site into Yahoo Auctions Japan, which does not ship to the United States. So you have everything shipped to Buyee, and then you pay Buyee to ship it over to you. A lot of times that shipping ends up being about $30. So if you pick up 2 or 3 more kits, it makes it a bit more reasonable. So I was browsing around looking for something else to get. One of these days I'm going to do a video on how Bailli works and show you exactly how to do it. But before I can do that, I have to figure out how to actually record my screen. I know there's some software to do it. I don't know what that software is or how to use it. I need to figure all that out because I would like to do a video on how to do Bailli. I would also like to do a video showing how I do my license plates. But that is off in the future. I was browsing around and I did find a Ferrari 250. The Ferrari 250 I found, though, is quite frequently $160 to $300 in the US. And that is the Gunze Sanyo high-tech kit. This is a very, very cool kit. And it's usually crazy expensive over here. And I found this one for $36. So all in all, I did very, very well. There is a problem with this kit. It didn't show anything in the pictures. I don't think it happened in shipping because nothing else is damaged. Most of this kit is white metal, not plastic. The body is plastic. There's a clear plastic sprue, a couple of chrome sprues, and like one or two black sprues. And other than that, like almost all of the suspension, the entire chassis, it's all white metal. The problem is, though, that white metal can be soft and it can be really, really brittle, especially as it ages. Now with this one, this entire front section of the suspension was completely broken in multiple pieces, in fact. Now I have gone and I have managed to glue it together. I may try to 3D model and print this to get just a single consistent part. But as you can see, these aren't flat pieces. There's some angles here, like the whole front suspension angles up. The rear suspension has that whole angle where the rear, the leaf springs are going to connect up and the transaxle sits in here. So it's something that we can probably get done in 3D, but I have managed to glue it and I think it will be probably fairly straight. It's probably not perfectly straight, but it would be close enough for government work, especially for a normally roughly $160 to $200 kit. This is really cool. Other than that, it comes with a photo etch sheet, which back in the day was fairly rare when these were out. I think that these are out of print now. But I mean, so photo etch was unheard of at the time. The one downside is it does not come with an engine. Now I could fix that. I could 3D print and put in Motoboss's 250 GTO engine, which is pretty much the same engine with just a few minor differences that aren't all that important. So we could make that work, but we'd then have to cut the trunk, not the trunk, but we'd have to cut the hood open, which is all molded into the body. We'll see what happens with that. This is going to be a much later on build. So that's going to be a wrap on the stash ads, but we do have a tool ad to talk about here because we've got something really, really cool that we're adding into the spray booth. So this was not sent to me. This is not a promotional thing for a review. This is definitely not a free product. This was fully paid for. So you know when I do review it, you're going to get a completely honest review from me on how this thing works. This one was kind of pricey, but this was entirely funded by you guys who are buying my design files off of Colts 3D. So for all of you guys out there, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Y'all are helping the channel grow. But what we're adding to the spray booth is the Harder & Steinbeck Infinity 2024, the brand new one they just released, the 2-in-1. This thing is really cool. It's got some really cool features to it. There's some really smart stuff with the way they did things. There's the 0.25 millimeter needle and a 0.44 millimeter needle and nozzle setup. And the way they've got all these parts, the two needles, one has 2 little rings on it, the other one has 4. The nozzle has 2 little grooves around the nozzle. The 4 has 4, so you always know what parts go with everything. I had the 0.2 for the UMP Apex airbrush. I had a really hard time because I did not know which one was which. And I think at one point in time I mixed the 0.2 with the 0.3 needle, and I split the needle, or I split the nozzle, not the needle. I split the nozzle open, so it never really worked right. I never really got that fine detail with it. This, just, you absolutely know what's what. The nozzle's made of titanium. It is the first airbrush to use titanium for a nozzle. Most airbrushes use brass, and you know if you push that needle in too hard, it'll split the tip open and you won't get a really good spray. You'll never really close off. You'll have a lot of problems with the airbrush until you replace it. This is not like that. This is like everything about this is really cool. I've sprayed with it one time. I really liked what I got, but that was with the 0.2 needle, which is the super fine detail needle. I really want to see what this thing does with the 0.4 in there. But we're going to have another video on this much later. So that's going to be a wrap on this video, guys. If you want a shop card from me, my email is down in the description below. Send me an email. You don't have to have a shop card. I would love if you did, if you'd swap with me so I can do a shop card shout out for you. But if you just want one of my shop cards, just let me know. I will definitely get one out to you. Thanks for hanging out with me. I always appreciate you watching the videos, and I will catch you guys on the next one.